Hello and welcome to Just Jets, episode number 245. What is going on? Matt O'Leary going to be hanging with you for another episode here of the podcast. Every Wednesday we get to come on and talk about some Jets topic and then go into your voicemails. I think I should go back and count, or I should keep track every week, but this may have been the record for number of voicemails that I received after a game. I'm going to do my best to get through as many as humanly possible. I'm just letting you know right now, not possible to get to every single person that called in this week. I appreciate genuinely all the love and support that I get on the YouTube channel and on the voicemails and just, anyone who consumes my content. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to get to everyone. It's just, people are really upset and we'd be here for like 3 hours. So anyway, just wanted to put that message out at the top. But yeah, the Jets fall to 2-6, which is horrendous. Everyone is down bad about the New York Jets falling to 2-6 on their season. But what I wanted to talk about in the open of this episode, before getting into the voicemails this week, I want to try to find out, or at least talk through, the blame that Aaron Rodgers deserves for this season. Because I think, like most things, I find that with a lot of Jet fans, they are on like the polar opposite ends of the take. Like it's either Aaron Rodgers, in this example, Aaron Rodgers is all to blame in this. This is all Aaron Rodgers' fault. Things would have been fine if they kept Zach Wilson or signed Derek Carr or did anything else. And then you have some who are like, Aaron Rodgers is on pace to throw for 4,000 yards. How could this possibly be his fault? It's the defense, it's the coach, it's the it's the that. And I don't buy that either one of those ideologies is the real deal. I think it falls somewhere in between. So we'll start by giving you the context of how Aaron Rodgers has performed through the first 8 games of the year. A 61.6 completion percentage, 1,896 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in 8 games. Pacing out over a full season, Rodgers is on pace for 4,029 yards, 26 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, completion percentage at 61.6, and roughly an 85 passer rating. Not elite, not horrendous, just okay. That's where we fall right now with Aaron Rodgers and his performance. He is 8th in the NFL in passing yards, 9th in the NFL in passing touchdowns, but 29th in completion percentage, 21st in passer rating, and 23rd in QBR. He probably, at least in my opinion, I would say that he falls somewhere between depending on the week, 18th to 22nd best quarterback in the NFL. And that is, without no denial, an increase from where they were a year ago. Now, is it as much of an increase as we were expecting? Me personally, I was not expecting Aaron Rodgers to come in and play like a top 5 quarterback in the league. My expectation was a top half of the league quarterback, maybe somewhere between like 8 to 12, somewhere in that range, maybe middle of the pack at absolute worst. But I think at his absolute best, you can maybe say middle of the pack. And where it falls most weeks is, like I said, 18 to 22. Not horrible, not great, just okay. And that's kind of where we get into the first side of the argument here, which is the part where he actually does deserve some blame. Why? Because he is not elevating the team. It is clear that Aaron Rodgers, their plan was, and fair or unfair, I lean towards unfair, their plan was that Aaron Rodgers was going to bail them out, and he is unable to elevate them at this point in his career. He also can't move. He is not moving well back there. He's clearly injured, which was always a possibility for a 40-year-old quarterback. Also take into account he was coming off the Achilles injury, but is nursing issues with a hamstring, both knees, and a high ankle sprain. So his lower half is not very good right now. And at times he gets very skittish in the pocket and isn't really making plays downfield because he's afraid to stand in the pocket and let it rip, or he can't really run around and make plays like we saw. Probably his best game against the New England Patriots, where he was running around and making plays with his legs. We haven't seen that as much over the last few weeks, and he's taken a beating from this offensive line, which has seemed to stabilize a little bit since getting Morgan Moses back, though, I will say. Now, on the side where he, I think, doesn't deserve blame and where things are clearly also issues, the defense has gotten worse from a year ago. They lost a ton of pieces on the defensive line. That is a major issue. Jermaine Johnson gets hurt. C.J. Mosley's been hurt for most of the year. Sauce Gardner has taken a step back this year. I'm not all the way out on Sauce Gardner like some people are. I think he's been just okay, and he hasn't been elite. I don't think he's been horrific. The tackling effort has maybe been horrific, but overall, I don't think his play has been horrific. But still, moral of the story, they are not playing like a top 5 unit. They're playing like a middle of the road unit, which is not enough for them to get by. And they're poorly coached. Like, there's no denying that they are poorly coached. So it's a mix. It's a mixed bag here. I don't think it's fair to say that Rodgers gets a complete pass and that he's been absolutely fine and, everyone else is at fault and point the finger at everyone else. Rodgers deserves some blame here. It's not all, but it's some. Like, there are clear issues getting up to the line of scrimmage and getting plays in. It's on the quarterback at this point. They removed Nathaniel Hackett out of the equation. It's not him. It's like it seems like there's fighting going on between what the play call comes in and what they actually want to do, and it's not working. Some of the personnel decisions that Aaron Rodgers was, his influence was on. It's not a perfect equation. Robert Saleh was a big part of the issue. That's why he got fired. I don't have any love lost for the Jets firing Robert Saleh. He's a nice guy, but he was clearly part of the issue. Joe Douglas and his roster building's part of the issue. Woody Johnson being the owner and meddling and getting involved and forcing people's hands has been an issue. And Aaron Rodgers has also been an issue because he hasn't been as good as anticipated. He can't move because he's hurt right now. And there's, the off the field, if you want to put it that way, of just some of the comments after games or going on Pat McAfee. And for the most part, I think he's been okay there. I'm not saying like every single week, I don't think he deserves to be ripped for it. And I do think that some of the national media go a little bit too far. But when you're 2-6, it doesn't really help things when, we're talking about like, yeah, I was in the darkness. Like, dude, I don't know if we need to hear that right now. I really don't. So Rodgers does deserve blame. How much? If you're put a percentage of it, I would say Woody, the coaching, and the GM deserve more blame than Aaron Rodgers does. But Aaron Rodgers definitely has a slice of the pie too. And it's a bigger slice than I think some Jet fans want to admit or are willing to admit. And it's probably smaller than some of the biggest Aaron Rodgers haters are assuming that it is. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Rodgers. Let's get into the voicemails now. We're going to get it started with our guy, Don from Long Island.
Hey, Matt, what's going on? You got Don from Long Island here. Love the videos, my man. I don't know if I'm going to be watching you for much longer. Nothing towards you, just I don't know if I can watch these damn Jets anymore, man. They're really killing me. Rodgers had a pretty good game today. Garrett Wilson, again, proving why he's still number 1 wide receiver in this league. But Greg fucking Zuerlein, man, I'm calling you right after the game.
Horrible.
If they don't have a new kicker by Tuesday, then I don't know what to do. I'm pretty sure the season's already over. Like, you can really only lose one more game. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is pretty magical, but just let me know your opinions on that. Thank you.
Of course. As of recording this on Tuesday afternoon for a Wednesday release, the Jets have not let us know the results of the kicking competition. There is a very good chance that as of recording this right now, we got a bunch of guys kicking field goals at MetLife Stadium. Why I didn't get a call, I'm not quite sure. But the Jets were holding competition for the kicking spot. Can't be Greg the Leg. He has cost you or been a part of 3 really bad losses. And I'm not saying that, oh my God, this is all Greg Zerloin's fault. That's also not fair. Just like we were talking about in the opening here on the Aaron Rodgers front. But the GM enabling the kicker to go out there and continue to lose them games is just another strike against Joe Douglas right now. I'm sorry. If you want to give him the, how is he supposed to know that Greg Zerloin would regress? And he would have gotten killed if he ended up cutting Zerloin and going with Austin Seibert in the preseason. Fine. I will even give you that one. Absolutely fine. But sitting on his hands after Denver, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and now this most recent time against New England, how many times does he have to play a major role in a loss before you go, all right, we got a problem here. This guy can't keep getting trotted out there. How many times does Michael Clemens have to get his ass handed to him in the run game or get a roughing the passer call or a personal foul penalty in an unnecessary spot before you put someone else in his place? That's why the GM gets blamed, because he enables these players who are also not good enough as well to just continue to be put in these roles where they cannot succeed. And Greg Zerloin's a great example of it. He should not be kicking on Thursday. Should not. It's a disservice to this team if he's kicking on Thursday. Dove from Israel's up next. Let's talk.
Hey, Matt. This is Dove from Israel. I sent you a voicemail earlier. Please discard that one. Just put this one on the show. So number one, last week I called in and I was upset. Just so we're all clear, I was not upset at you. I was upset at the situation. I love you. You're awesome. This is my therapy session every week. That being said, I can't do this, man. I can't do this anymore. I've been optimistic for the last 10 years that I followed the Jets, and this is the first year. I just can't do it anymore, man. My kids will not be Jet fans. That's what I could tell you. I mean, I can't do this anymore. It's I don't know, man. Yeah, that's my reaction. Like, Salah might get a job next year just because how bad the Jets are. This is clearly, I don't know, man.
Dove, I did not hold anything against you on your last call. I totally get it. I didn't necessarily take it as a shot against me. And I don't expect every single one of my listeners or every single one of the people who call in to agree with everything that I have to say. That's not how life works. You're going to find people in life who don't see eye to eye with you on a certain subject. And, I said my piece on it. You said your piece on it. We are totally good. I never, like I said, I never held that against you. And this is a therapy session. It's a therapy session for me as well. It helps to talk through the issues with other Jet fans. I do, this is my main thing, but I do an Islanders podcast on the side called Up the Turnpike. And when I was recording an episode with my co-host, Mitch Anderson, 2 nights ago, I was saying, like, I love having the ability to talk through the issues about my favorite team, the Jets, with the callers, and like I get another perspective, and that helps me get through it. And we do something similar with our show. We have a Patreon, and we answer comment questions for every episode, and usually they're prompted like, hey, let us know what you think on this, and they give a response. And it's good to kind of gauge where the fan base is at, and that's why I like doing this show, because we're all kind of in this same boat right now. Thank you again, Dove. Vic from Florida is up next.
Matt, it's Vic from Florida. About almost 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Fired up the grill.
Nice.
Gonna reverse sear a steak. Life is good. It's not good to be a New York Jet fan, though. I mean, I had talking points. I wrote it down as I went on. Burning all 3 timeouts in the first quarter. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that. Ever. Zerloin should be picking garbage. Terrible. He has no business being on the field. Just retire, take your money, and enjoy your life with your family. Brutal. Delay games. Does Rodgers not know what a play clock is anymore? Is he an all-timer? Is like what's going on? I'm at a loss for words. You know, I'm in the education profession, and I have, you know, friends and family members or other people. When I tell them that, they say, "Oh man, I don't know how you do it. I feel bad for you." And I, you know, always tell them, "Well, you know, I love what I do, and I never worked a day in my life." And I never really understood why people would ask me, you know, how could you do that? Well, now I understand.
Yep.
Matt, Ryan, Green Bean, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're going to have to continue. I feel bad for you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys are going to continue to follow this team and create content for the rest of the year. I don't know how you do it, but God bless you guys. I'm done. I'm at a loss for words. I've never seen such disconnect between talent on the field, talent on the roster, and just a horrible execution. This is worse than the Gase era. Much worse. I can't believe we had all this hope. It's over. It's over, Matt. All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to the draft process here.
I'm not ready.
Start next week. We're done. We're not making the playoffs. It's over. All right, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your week if you can.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Vic. Thank you for calling in, for getting those thoughts out there. I do feel blessed that I get to wake up every day and do something that I love in talking about this team as part of my career and what I do for work. And I feel I fully admit that I am in a very unique situation, and I love that I get to do it, and I feel very lucky that I get to do it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little hard during these times. It gets a little challenging. There's a lot of times where it's really fun and it's awesome. And again, like I'm not doing manual labor. I'm not digging ditches. I'm not, you know, there's a lot of people who have a lot more challenging jobs than I do. And I have a ton of respect for all those people who are going out and working hard every single day. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's not all sunshine and rainbows when you have to put this kind of effort in every single day, 365 days a year, multiple years of doing video content every single day, covering a team every single day. And they are the worst team in professional sports. It's hard. This year, I really thought it was going to be different. I thought it was going to be back to when I was growing up in the 2000s, where the Jets were, I don't know, a pretty normal franchise. They made the playoffs. They won some playoff games. And it was fun. That's what I was hoping for this year, and we're nowhere close. Brutal. Thank you, Vic, for the kind words. I appreciate you guys. Let's go to Peter from the beautiful Hudson Valley.
Hey, Matt. It's Peter from the beautiful Hudson Valley calling in after the Patriots loss. Sorry, I had to go back in and try and get my thoughts a little more organized than that first call. I want to thank Henry for calling me out last week during that show. Yes, I'm sure you've heard many of my calls in the past. I'm usually very optimistic. I'm usually very positive. But how can you be that way anymore with this team? Back when I was younger, the letters JETS stood for just end the season. And I think that's pretty much where I'm at right now. 45 years as a Jets fan, another embarrassing loss. First quarter was ridiculous. You used up all 3 of your timeouts because you can't get plays in. Don't you have quality control people on the sidelines for that so that you make sure you get your plays in on time? I don't understand that. Like, I understand Jeff Ulbrich, it's only his 3rd game, but this was the same problem that Robert Saleh had. So it's the coaching staff. It's the same staff, and they have the same damn problem. They cannot get plays in on time, regardless of who's calling the offensive plays. And then big chunk plays given up on 3rd down, time and time again, whether it was Drake May running for first downs before he went out concussed. Jacoby Brissett on that last drive. Sauce Gardner not tackling. Sauce Gardner not having to do coverage on that last drive to let the eventual score to have the Patriots go ahead and win the game. To Greg Zuerlein missing field goal after field goal after field goal. I don't necessarily blame him on the extra point because technically Thomas Morstead didn't have the laces turned the right way. But we need a new kicker, and it won't happen this week because it's a short week going up against the Texans on Thursday night. So after that, you might as well cut him and find. I don't care. Some kicker off the street somewhere. I'll audition. I really don't care.
Yeah,
but
you
this
should.
is ridiculous. I'm not watching this team on Thursday night. Even if I still have a Prime subscription, I'm not watching them. I'm not sure I want to watch them at all the rest of the season. I am that fed up right now with this team. And it goes back to, not having Aaron Rodgers for more than 4 plays last year. They could have got all this out of their system last year. Even if they'd have been 7-10 with him last year, at least you'd have had those growing pains already. This is ridiculous. Rodgers should just retire, blow this team up, start over next year. I don't care anymore. That's it. Done. Bye.
Peter, I've never heard Peter like that. Not once. And that's the sad part in all of this is there's no words sometimes. And I get the frustration. I really do. And it's so sad to me that we have fans like Peter, who again usually calls in, gives a positive spin on the team. He's an optimistic guy. Talking about how not even 9 games, 8 games into a season, you're not even halfway through. He's like, I don't want to watch this team anymore. And I don't blame him. I really don't. You have so many better things to do. It's Halloween night. I'm sure a lot of you guys either, might have young kids where you want to take them out trick-or-treating, or I don't know if you're older in your 20s, maybe you want to go to a party on a Thursday, or you're college age. Oh my God. College age Thursday night. Why would you stay in and watch the Jets? If you're in college right now, you're watching this in your dorm for some reason, and you're thinking, you know what, on Thursday, I'm going to stay in and watch the Jets. I'm not going to the party at the frat house on Halloween. Why? Just because I made my career decisions and I talk about this team every single day does not mean that you have to put yourself through that same misery. How about Richie? I mean, one of the other great Jets content people, Jets media. I've used him as the example because in both with the Jets and in real life, Richie might be one of the most genuinely positive people, and great head on his shoulders and just always, happy-go-lucky, looking for the positive spin. It's going to work out. He's a yoga guy. He's very zen, cool, calm, collected. Have you seen his videos after these losses? He is totally checked out. He is totally done. And if the Jets are losing people and fans like Richie, how do they ever get our trust back? How do they ever get our trust back? James is calling in next from Ohio.
Hey, Matt. This is James calling from Ohio. God, this season has just been absolutely awful for Jets fans. I'm a Packers fan. I was super excited to watch Rodgers play on the Jets, just like Favre did back in '08. No hard feelings. It run its course. And it's just been an absolute nightmare from top to bottom. And I just feel for Jets fans. It's absolutely brutal, and honestly, you guys just don't deserve this. Sorry about that. I hope you take care. She's feeling the same way as all Jets fans right now. Take care. Bye.
I had to leave this one in there, and thank you so much, James, for calling in. And hopefully, I'm assuming your daughter, but the crying baby, hopefully she's feeling better now. But the reason why that had to stay in, because that is the most accurate description of what it's like to be a Jets fan right now. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here. I really don't. I'm at a loss, and that's really bad because I host podcasts, I do videos, I talk sports on the internet. Usually it's hey, you gotta have a take for everything. You gotta come up with an opinion. Here's how the Jets fix it. I'm gonna do for the 6th year fixing the New York Jets for 2025. We are a few months away from that. We're gonna be getting into mock draft Mondays a hell of a lot sooner than anticipated. But I still, my genuine feeling right now is I really don't know how the Jets fix this. I don't know. And it's so easy to say, oh, well, Woody Johnson just has to sell. And I don't disagree. If you've watched me, I have made it pretty clear how I feel about Woody Johnson as an owner of the New York Jets. But you can't just snap your fingers and go, Woody Johnson sold the team. Or, like, you can't fire the owner, right? Like, that's the example you always bring up. They got to find a way. I don't know what it is, but they got to find a way. Let's go out to, or stay in Ohio, but just go to Travis from Ohio.
Hey, Matt. Travis from Ohio. Hey, buddy. Sorry you had to do the whole watch-along party, and they laid another shit sandwich. I'm back to where I was around 2017, where the Jets are my favorite team and least favorite team. I hate them as much as I love them, and I think I might hate them a little bit more than I love them right now. It's so frustrating. I mean, all of it. Like I said, scrap the whole team. I don't care anymore. It can't get any worse. And every time you say that, it finds a way. Like you said last week when I called in, Belichick ain't coming here. Overpay Vrabel and overpay Bruce Arians, I guess, for offensive mind. Give them whatever they want. Those guys could change the culture, and they know winning football, and they care. Like I don't right now. But I'm saying hire guys that care. Anyway, I still love you, and you have the most impossible job trying to talk about this team. As horrible as it has been for the last 8 years, jeez Louise. I mean, 2016 was the last time, and that was a fake smoke and mirrors thing. But that was the last time, man. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm sorry. There's no question in there, really, again.
That's fine, dude.
Vrabel, 2025. Love you.
I love you too, Travis.
Go Jets. No, I kind of did. Bye.
Travis, I appreciate you. We'll be able to get into a whole lot of head coach talk. The big one going on right now is there are a lot more than I thought, but a lot more Jets fans than I thought who genuinely want Rex Ryan back, which just is really sad that this is where it's gotten, that we're debating whether or not Rex Ryan can come in and save this team. I put a video out on it yesterday if you want to see my feelings on it. I don't really feel like rehashing my argument on it right now, but if you're interested, you can check that out after this episode if you want. But you brought up, or Travis brought up rather, Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is a good option. I don't know if he'll come here, but some of my early favorites are Mike Vrabel, Kevin Stefanski, and Todd Monken. Now, my preference really is to go with someone who has head coaching experience. I'm a little bit weary of the first time head coach. For instance, like Ben Johnson, Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady are going to be highly, highly coveted offensive minds and are going to be first-time head coaches very, very soon. I'm nervous about going that route, even though, again, some of those guys have really good resume and really good pedigree and very well could work out. Where I am right now, I'm nervous about making that leap of faith into someone who hasn't done this job before and we have no idea what they'll be at this level. And the reason behind that is because this city, this organization, this team has eaten up, chewed up, spit out so many first-time coaches before. And if they were going like, we're going to blow this up and go like rookie quarterback, rookie GM, rookie head coach, maybe, but I still think that there's going to be some veterans here. I'm not 100% convinced that Aaron Rodgers is just gone after this year. And I think they just need a stable voice, authoritarian voice, who can come in and do a job. The only example on my list that I just mentioned who hasn't coached or hasn't been a head coach in the NFL is Todd Monken, but he's not the young hotshot coordinator. He's had success in Tampa Bay as the OC. He went to Georgia, had great success. He went to Baltimore and had great success. He turned programs around at the college football level and has had really great success on the offensive side of the ball. And he is that I don't give an F attitude with things. Like, if you ever listen to him speak, he's not someone who I have any fear of coming to New York and getting pushed around. Where Joe Brady, Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson, for as talented and as smart as someone who, again, is probably considered the biggest coaching name on the market this year in Ben Johnson, I don't know if it's a fit in New York for him in this market with the pressure that's going to be on this team to win, likely. So those are my, as of now, it's still early. It's not even freaking November yet. Those are my top 3 favorite options currently. Subject to change, obviously, because we're still way, way early. Elwood from Delaware is up next.
Yeah, hello. My name is Elwood Shockley. I'm calling from Delaware, Wilmington. Jets lost 3 games because that field goal kicker cannot make a kick. He can't even keep them in the score. They need to get rid of him and get somebody who can kick. That's all I got to say. That field goal kicker done cost them 2 games straight in a row.
Really, 3 games.
All right, take it easy.
You can make the case for 3 games, which is absolutely nuts that it got this far. Have still, as of recording this, have not gotten any updates on the kicking situation. We'll let you know if I'm still recording, and that's the case. Tanner from Long Island's next.
Hey Matt, it's Tanner calling from Long Island. Hope you're doing well.
Doing okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, first of all, just thank you again for all the hard work you do. You know, even in these tough times, and these are arguably some of the toughest we've seen. Just really appreciate you and all the other creators doing, just staying with it and doing your thing. Makes the pain a little bit easier. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, I don't really know what to say, as I'm sure most of the fan base has no idea what to say, but I'm really just angry with Joe Douglas. I mean, you just think about 2 years ago when nobody really knew what we were, and, you know, we had Zach Wilson in his second year, and we were 7-4. And we were like, okay, maybe this team, maybe something could happen. Maybe we make a few moves, and something could happen. And then, you know, fast forward to now. And like you were saying in one of your videos this week, or probably a few of them, how we're the too late Jets. It just seems like, why couldn't, at that point, they'd try to bring in a big-name wide receiver and some big-name offensive line. It just seems so weird that, you know, we're here and they're making the moves now when they were showing promise all that long ago, really, you know, two and a half seasons ago. Yeah, then just another quick thing on the personnel front. I mean, obviously Zerline has to go, and I couldn't help but notice I was kind of falling asleep to the end of the Sunday night game last night, the 49ers, and the announcers were talking about this kicker, the 49ers kicker. I guess Moody's hurt, and they have some kid. He was 5 for 5 last night, and they were like, if any team out there is looking for a kicker, I mean, it's a guy that Douglas has got to be on the phone. I mean, I don't know. He probably knows he's done, so he's not going to do too many more big moves. But they have to bring in another kicker. And I'm not even going to blame everything on their line. It's just to show us that you still have an interested and active and somewhat competent front office. I mean, the least you can do is look at one of these 1 or 2 second-string kickers like this kid in the league who are playing well and just try to bring him in. But yeah, that's all I've got. Short turnaround to Thursday. Thanks again, Matt. Go Jets.
Yeah, absolutely, Tanner. I'm hoping the same thing that you just hit on there with the kickers. They better come out of today with someone new. I don't care who it is. Cade York. Who was the other name that they worked out the last time? We haven't gotten an updated list on who's working out today. It was Cade York and Matt Coughlin, who hasn't kicked in the NFL, but that's Randy Bullock still kicking around. What a shame. What an absolute shame. A fall from grace from Greg Zerline. We got the other Dom from Long Island now at this point.
Hi, Matt. This is Dom from Long Island. So just kind of a little update. I called maybe, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so you gave an answer that they, you know, and not, I don't think you underlined. You gave a really good answer about something. You said that the Jets just need to stop doing stupid shit, or I'll be nice. Need to stop doing stupid stuff. And Matt, they haven't stopped doing stupid stuff. In fact, you know, I really think they just have kept doing more stupid stuff. And it sucks. It really sucks. 2-6. 2-6 hurts. Not even Halloween. And yeah, speaking of Halloween, unfortunately, you know, I mean, a lot of my friends, I saw in another video you put out, the stadium's going to be empty. You know, the Jets, they F us over every week. And, you know, they F'd us over again because we can't refund our tickets, and we're just like, oh, we all don't want to go. So, yeah, we can't even do that. But funny thing, actually, 2 of my friends are Giants fans, so they have to borrow 2 of my jerseys, so I think I'm going to use white duct tape, sell the team. Anyway, who are we drafting? I can't believe I'm saying that.
Oh, God, it's draft season, baby. Are you team draft a quarterback? Are you team draft an interior defensive lineman, wide receiver, weapon, offensive lineman? We made it all the way back. Halloween. We're talking mock drafts at Halloween for a team that we were talking playoffs. Oh, Dom, if you go to this game, again, more power to you. I don't know how you guys are going to do it. God bless. Ryan from New Jersey.
Hey, Matt. How you doing? This is Ryan from Jersey. Long-time supporter and listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
I got a 2-parter for you. I've inherited this team from my father, my uncles. I've been supporting it for 34 years. And you pointed this out. It seems that this team just cannot get it together. They can't pull it together. My first part of my question is, do you feel like Aaron Rodgers shifted the culture, so to speak, for a negative? Meaning maybe he's getting the superstar treatment while everybody else is watching it and not willing to play for each other? And the second part is, I've been at work, I just got off, and I'm been following Ian Rappaport, and he's been dropping, breaking news and trades, and I was hoping that I was going to get breaking news that the Jets released Greg Zerline. Why
Not yet.
is he still on this team? Please help me understand that. Thanks, Matt. Love your content. Keep going, brother. JETS, just.
I appreciate you. Still waiting for that notification on your Aaron Rodgers question. Maybe that's what happened here. Maybe it is that Rodgers getting the special treatment, and that has turned the tides in the locker room. That's not the vibe that they were giving off last year and this summer when they were talking about how inspiring it was that Rodgers was trying to work his way back and be with the team, and watching his work ethic throughout the summer and the prep that he puts in. So it's, again, I'm not going to say that your theory is wrong or it's impossible that that's the case. I think something must have happened behind the scenes from what we've seen to make me believe that. Which is, again, it's entirely when you're 2-6, anything is on the table, and Rodgers does deserve blame in this. So, yeah, he probably does have some blame. Matt from Connecticut. We got a couple more.
Hey, Matt. It's Matt from Connecticut, first-time caller.
Welcome.
First, I'd like to start by saying I was 6 years old the last time the Jets made the playoffs. I wasn't watching then, but it's been a long time. I'll be 20 this year. I'll be 21, drinking age with the rest of you guys by next season. I'm a New England boy, born and raised.
Oh.
So the Patriots week is always very personal to me. It always brings me back to like when I was a kid, and they get shellacked twice a year, and I'd come into school the next day and get made fun of for it. But like even in a lost season, you always want to beat the Patriots. And I made the venture to Foxborough with some of my coworkers today, or yesterday. I'm calling the day after. I was in the corner where Stevenson got into the end zone, and I gotta say that's one of the worst losses I've ever seen as a fan. My question is like, where do you go from here? Like yes, there's talent, but how can you bring back Joe Douglas? He's had 5 off seasons, and with those 5 off seasons, the Jets have a winning percentage of .295. And I understand the question of, well, who else are you going to get? But if we can't do better than .295 with 5 off seasons, then we got a lot of problems we got to iron out. And I think Rodgers will be back next year, and because I think he's too prideful to just retire on this awful note. But then what? Like you go 9-8 with like Mike Vrabel or something? I don't know. Go Jets, I guess.
Yeah, Matt, I don't even know what to say, buddy. I really don't. One, that you don't even really remember the last time the Jets made the playoffs because you were 6 years old that's really sucks. That there's the generation of Jet fans that listen to me that have not seen this team play a playoff game. I remember for playoff seasons, 04, 06, 09, and 10. 02, I don't claim. I don't really remember that. 03 is technically the first year that I really feel like I knew what was going on when I was 8. 8, yeah. But to be in Connecticut, too, while the Pats are winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl and the Jets are on a 14-year playoff drought, God, man. And to go to that game, be in the building, and watch your team lose with all those fans in there. And you're so right, too. People are so afraid to move on from Joe Douglas because there's a fear that they can't find anything better. Then, like, that's the person who stays in their relationship because they're afraid to try something new. They're unhappy, but they're just afraid of change. It's not a way to go through life, and it's not a way to go through running a football team. PG from Long Island closes us.
Hello, Matt O'Leary. PG from Long Island here. Thank you for taking my call. A couple things. One, I saw some of your YouTube videos after this latest debacle, and my advice for you, my friend, is go onto the Everlast website, buy yourself a heavy bag. You have a brand new house, so hopefully you have room for it somewhere in there. Some gloves, and help you get through the rest of this.
I need it.
That season. Second thing I want to say is people have been calling for, Woody Johnson to sell the team and get rid of Woody Johnson. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. He owns the team. He's not going anywhere. When he dies, it's going to go to Chris Johnson or his sons, something. The Johnsons aren't going anywhere. I saw your idea of getting a director of football operations or something in here as a buffer. Probably not a bad idea. Probably something Woody would consider. Remember in the past, he has hired people to help him
with the
hire
search,
head coaches or GMs. And, I think he knows. He's not an experienced football guy. He meddles sometimes too much, but his heart is in the right place. He wants his team to be successful. So that's a good idea. Third thing I want to say is I've always wondered how much Robert Saleh, as head coach, had an influence on the defense. Obviously, he's a defensive-minded coach, very good one. So I'm sure he went in with Ulbrich every week and worked on schemes and on matchups and stuff. And, since he's gone and Ulbrich doesn't have him, and now Ulbrich has that added responsibility of head coach, you see that the defense is just not performed up to par. Last thing I want to say is friends of mine have called me delusional. I go back to the Yogi Berra quote where he famously said, "It ain't over till it's over." For the rest of the season, I'm going to watch the Jets. I'm going to root for them. And then once they get mathematically eliminated, I'm going to continue to watch them and root for them because I'm a Jets fan.
There you go.
I'm not a Jets fan because I'm a front runner.
No.
I'm a Jets fan. I'm going to continue to watch and root for the team and think about next year once they get eliminated because I'm a Jets fan. Anyway, Matt O'Leary, as always, go Jets.
We are not front runners. That we can never have that claim. I could definitely never have that claim. The three teams I root for, Jets, Islanders, Mets, they are all the second team in this New York market. It ain't over till it's over. I'm clearly going to keep watching, but I don't think even the most optimistic of fans don't think that they could turn this around. They are a really, really poor team, and their flaws are getting exposed week over week. And it does feel like Ulbricht's in over his head. Man, this really sucks. Quick turnaround because they play tomorrow by the time you're listening to this. I will have my preview for the game out later today on Wednesday, and I'll have my coverage on Thursday. God help us all. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.